So when you watch this, just remember I'm not a machinist, okay? I'm still a guy out here in his shed just trying to have a heck of a good time. That's about it. Welcome to part 2. There's going to be a part 3. There's just way too much on that to do. It took a whole lot more than I thought just to get the 4 holes to meet the throttle body. I'm looking at it. There's a lot going on to try to get that 4-inch by 4-inch chunk of aluminum hollowed out when I don't have the proper tools or the proper knowledge of how to do it the best with what I got. I'm sure there could have been an easier way. This is awful painful. So we're going to hollow that out. We're going to pop the 4 holes in it. Again. Let me see. And I'm going to do the recess for the top and the bottom because the center part is going to fit into a recess when I do the aluminum weld around it. And then I'll flip it over, put the top in the recess and weld it up with that, or braze or solder or whatever that stuff is supposed to be. So now, with no further ado, here we go. Enjoy, guys. Just remember, I am not a machinist. I hope to learn how to operate these machines someday properly, but I'm just spitballing. There's no way around it. So enjoy yourself. I'm going to go in and edit this and put this clip in the front because that's the only thing I didn't do, is I didn't do an introduction to part 2. Okay? Enjoy, guys. I'll see you at the end. I'm just going to take my time to see what I get. I'm not in a hurry to get. I need kind of a depth on it. Something's not locked. There we go. Oh, it makes a world of difference when the knee's locked, doesn't it? Here's the cutter that I have, and this is the contour that it gives me. This is about what I wanted on the outside, but I can try kissing that just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to really help me. I'm going to do the other sides now, and I don't think you want to hang around while I do that, so I'll bring you back. There. so you get kind of an idea. It's not done. It's getting there, but it's not done. I'll do the other sides and bring it back. There we go. Now you can get a little bit more of a vision of what's inside my head. Except I kind of would have liked to do this a little bit up here, but that's okay. And what I'll do on the bottom here is ink it up, and I'll scribe around it. And I'm just going to do the mill with a really small cutter on the outside. I'm going to do it freehand and see where I get. Yeah, you're going to want to see that. I just took a Sharpie and inked up the area where I'm going to put the holes for the throttle body, the match up the throttle body. I've got this clamped down on a couple that I'm using as parallels. They're actually the other clamps. And I think just in case I decide to change the carburetor down the road, just a little bit bigger is not going to hurt me. But I've got the centers marked out. I've got the tables centered on the back too here. And I think I'm going to put in something, poke a hole through these, and use my boring bar that I've only used once before to see if I can bore the 4 holes in this. Well, you're not going to believe this. This won't hold a cutter large enough to get the smallest boring bar I've got in here. This one here that'll hold a 1/2 inch wobbles so bad you guys would get vertigo if I tuned it in. Turned it on. Anyway, I'm going to try it with this. We'll see what we got. Well, I finally got it taken care of. The holes are in it. We're going to go ahead and hog out the center of this next. I'm not going to put any holes in it. This thing was painful enough. I don't have a boring bar, a boring setup that I could use, so this is what I ended up using. Yeah, it took a long time. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this piece right now. I'm just gonna, I don't know, maybe just drill a hole in it and start from there and work at it. First I'm gonna clamp it down here on the table and we'll get going. I wanted to use this one here. It's a really nice 2 flute, super sharp. This one would have made sense, but I don't have a 5/8 end mill holder. Well, we'll give this one a try here. And am I touching? No, I'm not touching. Anyway, we'll give this one a try here. Let me go kick on the 3-phase and I'll be right back. I'm just going to bring the table up into it and see what we got. Well, the end mill's kind of dull. Oh, I can see a little wobble in it. Well, at that rate, I'll be deaf in about 30 days after I got it hollowed out. So, we're not going to go with this. Okay. I put this in my 4-jaw. Just turn my oil on. Because in the back of my mind, I heard you guys yelling at me, why don't I use my big 21-inch head, a 21-inch sliding head floor drill, my Candidate Auto? Well, I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to spot it. We're going to, where the heck did it go? I'm going to spot it. We're going to drill it out. I must have set the other drill down. And we're going to open it up with this. And then we're going to do something I've never done. We're going to use this boring bar here. I've never used it. So this might be interesting. I should be able to open this up pretty good. So where all I have to do is go back to the mill and take my long end mill and go down and round out the corners in it. It's a whole lot better than spending an hour on it and only getting 1.25 inches down the... Yeah. So I was killing myself on the mill. I could only take a little bit at a time. But anyway, let's get started on this. It's a big boring bar. It barely goes in that hole. But I set it to center over here on my tailstock, but with it set on center, it just barely grazes the top of the hole, so I had to drop it down just a little bit. Hopefully that won't make too much of a difference, but don't know if I need the WD, but we'll do it anyway. Well, let's give it a try. I've never done this before. Can you tell? I'm just going to go in here just for a little bit and try it out. Okay, I don't have the cutter lined up the way I need to, apparently. See, this is a learning experience for me. I'm just looking at the angle of the cutter and I thought it... Never mind. Well, I guess not. I've got a smaller boring bar on here. I've got so much stick out on here, there's a lot of chatter. I ran it through once before I turned the camera on here. I'm just going to use this to get the hole big enough so I can use that bigger boring bar on there. this is gonna work out much better. So, with that being said, this run, I'm going to bore out as much of this as I can, and then I'll get back with you guys, okay? Hopefully it won't take me all day. I'll bring you back from time to time. Oh, I actually expected it to be worse. I'm almost there. I think I'll just make one more pass, take about another 10,000th off, and call it good on this. I would have much rather had a 2 flute in here. Well, needs to be sanded a little bit inside. I mean, I'm not the greatest machinist. Of course, I'm not a machinist, but anyway, it's all the way through. I left plenty all the way around. I think it's going to work. I had to bring this in here to the garage because the vise I have in the shed, the biggest one I got's on the Bridgeport 6-inch, and it's just doesn't open wide enough for this. So I'm just going to be working at it. I've got myself a super sharp, really sharp, super sharp file, which I probably should be wearing gloves with. Matter of fact, I'm going to go get a set of gloves before this gets really messy. Well, guys, I've been at it for about 3.5 hours. Seriously. I could have cut a lot more off there with the end mill. Mental note to self, next time, come a little closer to my mark. Well, I've got the phase converter on. It's clamped in there, and I think this is just going to be an exercise on, let's see if Ron can stay within the lines. Nope. It's got just a little bit of gap around it. Just enough to get a little bit of that AlumaWeld to go in there. Brazing or whatever you want to call it. So I'll just heat it and I'll just flow it right in here and it should seal it all the way around. Shouldn't have any problem with leaks at all. And then I can take a file and go around the inside and match it with the inside of the runner. So I'm going to go ahead and put the top piece on here and do the same thing to the top, and I'll bring it back and show you the progress. That one's on. Oop, wrong end. Doggone it. That might need just a tiny bit of trimming. But the recesses are done. I could probably use a tiny bit of trimming too. There we go, that's on there. There we go. It's the first time it's been together. So on the inside, the only thing I'm going to have to do is contour those shoulders where they protrude into the ports. And that'll be about it, and then we'll go ahead and weld it up. We're going to have to pick it up on a part 3. I know. I said I'd like to have it done in 2, but it's just not turning out that way. There's way more to this than I figured. But it's one piece, well, it's almost one piece now. We're going to go ahead and probably weld this up this afternoon, but I want to publish this first. And on the third and final episode, we'll go ahead and weld it up and put it on putt-putt. That's what we call my 29 coupe. And my boys named it when they brought it home because they were about 4 years old. So that's what they thought. Putt-putt was funny. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get this on there and fire it up and see what it runs like. And we're also going to put a fitting on here for a top end oiler. Okay? So I'll see you next time here at Flathead Ron's Garage. You be safe in the shop. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Yeah, that leaves it wide open, don't it? I got a little bit of a mess to clean up here. Not like yesterday or a day before when I had to hollow the whole thing out. So I think it's turning out pretty darn good. If you guys got any suggestions, let me know. I think it's going to turn out really nice. I'll see you next time here at Flathead Ron's Garage for part 3 of my intake riser for my Flathead V8. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.